I know, it's been a while, but 2025 started off slowly with boxing. It's about to kick off with a really big fight, though, between David Morrell and David Benavidez. So we'll jump right into that with my first pick. I'm going with Benavidez by points or decision, and you can get that on DraftKings at plus 125. If you happen to be on FanDuel, it's plus 115. I'll explain more about why I'm doing that later, but first, let's just get into the intro. Welcome back to the 4Bs, where we discuss boxing, betting the B side, and other BS. My name is Percy, and if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the picks, make sure to subscribe, hit like, and make sure to tell a friend too, because we all can eat. I'll get back to the main event in a little bit, but let's just jump in with Pitbull Cruz versus Angel Fierro. My initial thoughts when I heard of this fight was that this was a get right fight for Pitbull. Did a little bit of looking, and it didn't take much to see that my initial thoughts were right. Angel Fierro is going to be a guy who's going to come forward and is going to be hit and hit often. He will not last very long in this fight, I don't think. So I think the safe money here is to say that Isaac Pitbull Cruz will win by KO or TKO. And you can get that at minus 105 on either of the two sites. If you want something a little bit more exciting than that, though, I would go with Isaac Cruz to stop this fight in rounds 3 or 4. You can get that on FanDuel at plus 1,000. It's not nearly as good on DraftKings at plus 800, but if that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. Angel Fierro is the kind of guy who kind of like leads with his face when he's throwing punches too. So I expect him to get clipped, and I don't expect him to last very long. I think he will give up a good fight and a very exciting fight, but this is the one that is supposed to keep Pitbull Cruz in the fans' eyes and to get him back on track, and that's what Fierro is there to do. We also have a great fight between Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton. This is a rematch that Fulton won in the first time around. Fulton thought he was going to shock the world when he fought Naoya Inoue, and instead ended up shocked to get knocked out. If you kind of followed along with him afterwards in social media, I think he was kind of in his feelings about that loss for a while, and this is not the kind of fight that you can go into and not be 100% there for. I don't think that he is. I think Brandon Figueroa is going to win this fight by points or decision. Another exciting fight, but he's going to have the edge this time around. So if you wanted to look for that, you can get it on DraftKings at plus 145. Not too much worse on FanDuel at plus 135. To get back into that main event between the two Davids, a lot of people have been talking about Morrell versus Benavidez as if it's a 50-50 kind of coin flip fight. I don't see it that way. I believe what we will see is that Benavidez is going to show his class and show that there is still a bit more of a distance between him and Morrell. And what you will get is a fight that is very exciting. I don't think either one is going to succumb to the other one and end the fight with a clear knockout stoppage victory. But I do think you'll have a chance to see one or both of the guys get knocked down in this fight. If I'm going to compare this to any fight that we've seen since we started this YouTube channel, the one that stands out to me is Ortiz versus Boachuk, where it was a very exciting fight, and it never looked like either guy was completely out of the woods. Both looked like they were able to be knocked down or vulnerable, and I think due to the skill and power of both of the two guys in this main event, we could see both of them get knocked down. Personally, what I think might happen, though, is you might see Morrell get knocked down and Benavidez get the win. So there are some prop bets on there that I like where this will still go the distance even with the knockdowns. And one of them is actually on FanDuel at plus 2,300 for Benavidez to win on points and for both fighters to get knocked down. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but I think it's worth putting a little bit of money on there. Over on the DraftKings side, though, we have one where Morrell will be knocked down 2 times and Benavidez will get the points victory. This is one that Sean Porter is on there championing as well, and that's at plus 800. The money's not nearly as good, but I think it's something worth looking into. If you're looking to be on that exact winning method thing, I'll tell you right now, if you're trying to do a unanimous decision for Benavidez, it's really not worth it. It's like plus 185 or something like that, whereas you're not getting that much better to just have him to win on points. But if you want to do the split decision, then you're getting the plus 700, 800 range. And then if you want to get into the majority decision, we're talking about a range of more like plus 1400 to 1600. I don't know if I'm going to do either of those or any of those at all. I like more so the much longer, more specific things with knockdowns. It's what I kind of envision happening here, so I'm going to go with that. So those are my picks for today. I apologize. Today's episode is not going to be very polished because I do have to leave in a short amount of time, and I wanted to make sure I got this out here in time for you guys to see it. So this might look a hell of a lot more like the first or few times that I was on YouTube, which I'm not saying is I've made great leaps and bounds here, but I try. And this time I just don't have the time to really do that. I will put my picks in the notes so you can see them there. I know usually I put the screenshot up, but I just don't have the time to do that right now. It's going to be pretty rough. Hopefully, when we do see each other again, we'll come back with some pretty big wins. Let's hope for one of those Benavidez points decisions with some knockdowns involved in there, all right? Anyways, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again next time.